even our office is going digital, and with the CAD/CAM systems we are able to do many things we never thought years or 10 or 20 years ago. So we are able to copy the original in a very good manner today, and that was what the dentists and even the patients want to do, and it's the fascination of ceramic. And as you see that not natural teeth, but all ceramic reconstructions, and it's really fascinating what we are able and our technicians are able to do. So even our patients want to copy what they see in the medias, and they want to copy, and therefore we are copying. We are copying and copying, copying and copying. That's what we are doing at the best, and that's what we want to do. And there's a term for copying, it's called biomimetics. You also can say bionic to this. It's the imitation of nature. But it isn't only the imitation of nature, it's the imitation by biomimetics means the imitation of models, systems, and elements of nature for the purpose of solving complex human problems. So, in other fields, for example in techniques, biomimetics is used to go further. As you see in these examples. Or biomimetics is even used in architecture, and that's the House of Arts in Graz, where I'm coming from, and to give you some aspects of Graz, the UNESCO City of Design. It's even also the town of birth of Arnold Schwarzenegger, but he's doing too much collateral damage, so we don't want to do it at dentistry. That's my place at the University Dental School where I'm working, and beside that I'm working in a private office, and there I'm thinking about what I'm doing with my restoration, with my patients, and what would be the best for those. So you even can find biomimetics in sports, for example, and biomimetics has given rise to new technologies inspired by biological solutions at macro and nanoscales. And even think about what we have learned at adhesion from nature. Now we know how adhesive luting technique works. We know it from nature. So that's one of the great benefits of biomimetics transferred into dentistry. So and the development is going on in other fields as well as in dentistry. So what can we learn about nature in our field? We have two materials, enamel and dentin. And for sure, these two elements are a compound material with very different flexural strength and modulus of elasticity. But it works in a very good manner. So what we are using, what materials we're using for dental restorations? You see zirconia, for example, the higher the column, the better. We say that must work in patient's mouth because it's much stronger, it's the strongest material in dentistry that we know. And even when we are thinking about buying a car and as a private person, and in this case we are thinking the same way we are thinking as dentists, choosing our materials, what we have to buy the best for a city car. Yeah, for sure, a tank. Because if we are even thinking the same way as we are thinking in dentistry, the stronger, the stiffer, the faster, the better. So, but not even the strongest is the best anyhow, in any case, as you see. So we have to think about that. And we have a look to the flexural strengths and the modulus of elasticity of zirconia, for example, we see there's a great difference between the nature, the materials nature has given us, and those materials we are working with in dentistry restoring teeth. So what we are doing and what is coming out in implant dentistry, belonging to the location of the implant, maybe our zirconia abutment looks this way or this way. Some of you maybe have seen such abutment cases, and this is the original abutment from a manufacturer from Basel. I don't think that it is suitable to the material ceramic, but it comes out. It reminds me a little bit of these pictures when we see such things. And having a look into literature, we see that significantly more porcelain fractures were found on FTPs on the implants. That's our great problem. Even fracturing of the veneering porcelain is one of the greatest problems in the treatment with implants and with the porcelain superstructure. So let's have a look to the nature, to the system, and there are two shock absorbing systems. Natural teeth, as you know. The structure between the root and the bone, and on the other hand, the dentin itself is a kind of shock absorber. So if we lose a tooth and place an implant, what we want to do, we want to reconstruct nature in the same position and the ground in the same position, and we have to put in tieways to make an abutment, and then secondary the ground on it, just to get a natural feeling of the restoration. That's our task. That's what we want or intend to do. But the question is, with what material and what's the best for long-term success? So, do we agree that this material is our best choice we have on this? So even zirconia can break, as the following case from Spelzer shows us, a broken zirconia abutment with a veneering porcelain, and what follows? Okay, if this break, we have to do it stronger. With strong material, we have to do it stronger, and it will get it better. Or, if you think a little bit in the way I've told you at the first, biomimetic or bionic thinking, wouldn't it be the better choice to take a material with the flexural strength and the modulus of elasticity nearby our nature, material. What do you think about? What will be the better choice? This or this? We have to put on this stiff system, implant, no shock absorbing system, the implant. A little bit of a kind of shock absorber, like we have learned in building cars. So do you agree with me? Maybe it's the better choice to take a material that's nearby what nature learned us. RNC, and you will ask what RNC means in a biomimetic thinking way. It's a resin nanoceramic. It's a resin nanoceramic which is nearby the flexural strength and the modulus of elasticity, and that's one of the important point of views in my thinking on new materials, which allows us to make different kind of treatment. And another look into literature, just going back. Have you ever noticed that the survival of composite resin abutments did not differ from zirconia ones? But with zirconia we have the greater problems with the veneering porcelain. So why don't we use composite resin abutments? I want to ask you. I want to ask you in a way of biomimetic thinking. Because literature tells us, okay, that's maybe the better and the right way to survive. And in our normal restorations, for example, inlays and onlays after machining with different materials, Emax, Empress, Vitamark II, you see, this new kind of stuff has a real brilliant edge roughness, which allows us to make very precise restorations. And in this case, for example, in the case of a crown, you see the difference between the feldspar glass ceramic and the resin nanoceramic material. So, but it is also a question of the wear of the material and the natural tooth on the other side, the antagonist. And Merman in Zurich made an investigation in the year 2011, I think, that what normal teeth are doing and doing to the antagonist, and that is what zirconia is doing to the antagonist, in spite of material with a low modulus of elasticity. And if we have a look to the aberration of natural enamel and this new kind of stuff, you see we are nearby in the total attrition, which means the wear of the agonist and the antagonist. We see we are nearby. This material is a little bit smoother than our natural material, but we are on the better way than, for example, zirconia. And new materials from other manufacturers are coming up. For instance, Sarah Smart from GC. And you see that all kind of restorations with this new stuff of materials are in the same color, A2. All these 5. But I think this stuff looks, the most of them, as natural as we want teeth to restore. And even in the development of aeroplanes, so the last airplane, or Airbus A380, had several points where composites were used. So the new technology, the new A400M, you see, all these parts are made out of composite. And you will never think about, if you are going for holidays to fly in the Caribbean Ocean, or is this composite or not? And is it luted well? Luting works, for sure, as we know it from this technology. So we have to think about what we are doing on implant, and if we are doing the right way, and if we are using the right material, metal or zirconia or titanium, are these the right materials? So have a look to the materials which we have and the technicians have in their hand to restore, and that's the models of elasticity of enamel, and dentin, as we said. Zirconia, a very, very stiff material. And implants on a very, very stiff system. That's the right choice. I think don't take alumina oxide. It's more stiffer than zirconia. Feldspar ceramic even has a modulus of about 110, about that. But with this nano-racine ceramics, we are nearby nature. We have our shock absorber, which we need, but we don't have this failures with the veneering porcelain. So, but there is one thing that makes it a little bit difficult. We cannot mix it as we want this material, because we're getting it in the form of blanks, and we have the need for using a CAD/CAM machine for making our restorations. So all the CAD/CAM systems, even lab side or chair side, they raised up in the last 10 years very much. So my choice is chair side building my restorations, and I will tell you afterwards in a few seconds why, with another aspect. Because just in office is what our patients want to do, not to come 3, 4, 5 times into your office to get one restoration. No, it's the best way. One time, one restoration, and that's it. 11. So even in the case of an immediate implantation like this, broken root, and then made an implant with some augmentation and abutment, reduced abutment crown out of ultimate, and after 4 months, then the veneering, even as well with the resin nano ceramics. As you see here, we are getting very, very good and precise aesthetic results in doing so. So what, in my opinion, we need, if we want success in our treatment with implants, we need materials with low modulus of elasticity to get a better and the best long-term success. Just as I mentioned at the end, one side aspect of treatment with zirconia and abutments and crowns away, lab side, there are many steps you have to go through. And on the other side, with the possibility of doing it chair side in-office treatment, most of these steps are not necessary to do. You see, it's very short, and if you have a look at the time it is needed, so time is money, and even costs. Our technicians are, it belongs to the country where they are working. Even in Germany, in Austria, in Switzerland, they are more expensive. So we have to think about to keep costs away and keep benefit in our office. It takes about 50 minutes to do in the half hour, and that are the costs you are getting in Austria, for example, with the technicians and all the materials are needed for the superstructure lab sites. It costs me, from the technician, this kind of restoration about 788 euros. On the other side, that are the costs when I'm doing it chairside, like nucleotide-based, loading it to the ultimate abutment ground, which I'm doing by myself, including my time and including the payoff costs that makes a difference, about 600 euro, and that's very much, I think. So even I have two choices. I can give it cheaper to my patients. 600 euros is cheaper than the guy next door. Or I say, okay, that's my price, and I have 600 euro more. I think that's a fine thing. So at the end, what I will say, the technology and material dependent preconditions are created. The dentists, even the technicians, have to follow old structure of thinking conditioned by metal technology must be replaced by, and I'm sure you can give the answer by your own, should be replaced by thinking biomimetic or bionic. Thank you very much for your